Those people are so ungrateful to be alive.
Hey everybody, it's B Diz the Rockstar, part of SuperObvious. In this video, we're talking about what we know so far about Saw X. Let's go.
What do we do?
As of me making this video, we really don't know much, especially since there isn't an official trailer yet. Timeline-wise, the movie is supposed to take place between the events of Saw and Saw 2, and it's being called a midquel. I think this is a pretty cool part of the timeline to focus on if this is true, because this could be around a time when the Saw franchise was still new and wasn't super big, which is usually when franchises kind of lose a part of what made it awesome at the start. Also, fun fact, that the events of Saw 3 and 4 in timeline happened at the exact same time, so this midquel happening during this would be a super ugly mess. There is also supposed to be 2 original stars. Obviously John Kramer, aka Jigsaw, will be in it, and if I had to guess, I'd say Amanda is the other one. She is special because she was the victim in the very first Jigsaw trap in the whole franchise, and she freaking survived. She was also one of the main ones that was Jigsaw's followers in movies going forward. If Saw X is a midquel, I think that would be cool because the Saw movies is already big on flashbacks to make viewers understand specific details from a character's perspective on what was going on or happening to them, or when it finally explains the trademark twist at the climax of each movie. So this being a movie that doesn't continue the Saw timeline but dives deeper between the events of Saw and Saw 2, I think that will be awesome. Jigsaw died at the end of 3. Future movies going forward, in my opinion, some of the best moments is when we see flashbacks of when Jigsaw was still alive. And that could include him making traps, training his followers to continue his work after he is gone, or him spending time with Jill. If Saw X is super heavy on flashbacks, I think that is something that will be great for fans, especially if the continuity is there and makes the strengths of the story that people already like even stronger. The creators of the whole franchise has been done by the same people this whole time, so that is good to know because it's from people that understand what these movies are supposed to be. Next, we're going to talk about Spiral. I know the Saw community is split in half for those that like it or not. As of now, it has a 5.2 out of 10 on IMDb, which to me is below average for a movie, especially an entry in a huge franchise. The balance of tense and humor was pretty okay. Chris Rock's acting was kinda overacted, which felt like it took you out of the mood sometimes. So many flashbacks, which seemed forced to understand backstory and build up, and the reveal of who Jigsaw was in the movie was completely obvious, which tainted the whole film because the reveal is one of the most important parts of the whole movie. But I think the main thing that made Spiral not feel like a Saw movie was that none of the main characters that we know from the franchise are in it, especially Jigsaw. Looking at the stats of previous movies, they seem to do better the more Jigsaw is actually in them. Saw 6 is considered to be one of the best because Jigsaw had the most screen time. In Saw X, he is supposed to have the most screen time out of any Saw movie in the franchise, which is an awesome element to make this movie successful because that's what the fans want to see. Another cool element is that the actor that plays John Kramer, Tobin Bell, is so dedicated to his character that creators allow him to change his lines on screen because he understands, with intelligence and psychology, who Jigsaw is. Possible Saw X info, as far as the plot and victims, is that Jigsaw is targeting a doctor who is a con man making money off of selling the idea of a quote-unquote miracle cure to people who are medically ill and takes place in an abandoned hospital. To me, this doesn't sound far-fetched because even though the Jigsaw traps are obviously violent and intense, John Kramer's philosophy is to make these people appreciate their lives. Also, for people taking advantage of people who are vulnerable financially or medically. With Kramer being medically ill and being screwed over by the companies who deny him medical coverage out of a small hiccup and seem to not care, this makes sense. The only photo we have so far is this, with John talking to a kid, which some people think it could be William, who was the Jigsaw killer in Spiral. Obviously, trying to squeeze in certain things like characters or stuff that doesn't make sense with what we have been shown over all the movies would be bad and feel forced. I think the majority of the movie being about Jigsaw and Amanda would be good because in my opinion, she is Jigsaw's main follower and feel their relationship kept growing with so many layers until the passing of John Kramer. Besides Scream, Saw is one of my favorite horror slasher franchises, so I'm very excited to make videos and talk about Saw a bunch as we know more info. Besides the gore, Saw actually has a really good story. Oh, and oh my god, I can't wait to see what kind of Jigsaw traps we could see in the new movie. But yeah, that's the video. Let me know in the comments if you're stoked about the new Saw X movie on the way. The release date is going to be towards the end of October of this year, which actually isn't that far. Do you have a favorite Saw movie in the franchise? I know I'm stoked to see the first trailer of the movie, which should be out very soon, to hype us up even more. Like and share the video, subscribe to support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Totally for sure.